Huskies are the #1 ranked team in the nation and have been virtually unbeatable this season. Today, their journey down the road to the Final Four takes a slight detour to Chapel Hill, where 11th ranked North Carolina awaits. Will the Tar Heels dethrone the mighty Huskies? We'll find out next on CBS. We welcome you to the Dean Smith Center on the campus of the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill as the top-ranked UConn Huskies come to town to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. Good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Billy Packer. We welcome you to this splendid basketball arena. And, Billy, a matchup of two of the top big men in the country.
Without question, we talk about guards all the time, but today we've got the two best big guys in the country. Sean May, a great offensive performer inside. He knows how to get position, has terrific hands. North Carolina knows how to get him the ball. He can shoot it with right or left hand. He will be a real task today for the #1 shot blocker in the nation, who also is putting up some big points, in Emeka Okafor. Okafor led the nation in shot blocks last year, picking right up where he left off. The young man is just a terrific all-around player and is putting up some huge numbers on the offensive end as well, as we saw last week against Oklahoma.
Well, give us an example of how he manages the post-up.
Well, I love the way Connecticut gets him the ball. A lot of times it's from the guard play on penetration, but here we see going right over the top. Big man to big man as Okafor holds his position inside. The ball goes right over the top, and he is a tremendous finisher, as we see right here, Vern.
Well, these two teams have one common opponent, Georgia Tech. UConn lost to them. North Carolina beat them. The coach is Paul Hewitt.
Well, the game's going to be fast, I can tell you that. And Carolina's going to want to get up and down, and certainly UConn over the years has proven that they want to be an up-and-down team. The difference in the game, or the deciding factor, is probably going to be the matchup between Okafor and May, because Carolina does such a good job of getting the ball inside, and you've got the best shot blocker in the country in Emeka Okafor. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I know speed won't be lacking in that game, though.
Now, Billy, lead us to the singular keys to the game.
Well, you're #1 in the country. That doesn't mean much. There's a bullseye there, and North Carolina has beaten a #1 team 9 times. Only UCLA is more with 10. The star centers, we've talked about these two players who have great hands inside, great work ethic, and it's going to be fun to watch big men go after each other. And born to run. Both of these teams have explosive quickness. They love to push the ball up the floor. That may be the key to the game. Which one controls that fast break tempo?
Be sure to vote and stay tuned next for the tip as UConn takes on North Carolina.
Now you have a chance to win your own camera phone or a trip to the CBS regular season college basketball game of your choice. Vote now for the most important key to the game on your singular wireless phone. Text your answer to short code 554 or go to cbssportsline.com. Watch Singular at the half for the results. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection. Circuit City, we're with you. And by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Dean Smith Center filled to capacity, better than 21,000 on hand. Jim Calhoun is in his 18th season as head coach, and Roy Williams back at his alma mater, graduate of North Carolina in 1972 in his first season back home. And let's check the lineups now. On the left for Connecticut, Okafor, Boone, Brown, Gordon, and Talik Brown. And on the right, May, Williams, McCants, Melvin Scott, and Raymond Felton. And the tip controlled by Ben Gordon into the hands of Talik Brown. Underneath Okafor and into the hands of Okafor.
That was a good save by Gordon. No panic on his part whatsoever going for that ball.
Look inside for May.
And we see the matchup is going to be Boone on May early, and that'll keep Okafor out of foul trouble and allow him to be able to go ahead and control the painted area as he always does so well.
There's Boone coming over to help defend McCants with Denham Brown. And it gets into the hands of Gordon. Dish underneath, turnover.
Okafor doing a good job running the court for the second time and almost picked up a second easy basket. Good hands, tremendous finisher. Let's take a look at this lineup. I think it's a great move by Jim Calhoun. Williams, who's playing with that face mask, Vern, and we saw yesterday in practice how much trouble that was causing him. His stats are way off compared to where they were earlier in the year before the injury.
There's a loose ball turnover by Sean May. Jawad Williams suffered a broken nose a couple of games ago. He is elected to go with the face mask. In contrast, both Ben Gordon and Emeka Okafor for Connecticut have broken noses, and they passed on the mask.
Okafor did wear the mask in practice yesterday. Gordon did not, either in practice and obviously not here today in the game.
That's a good sign. Ben Gordon, who is hitting 48% from 3, but he has been off target the last couple of games.
Well, he was 0 for 8 from 3 last year in a cause that did not help Connecticut at all as North Carolina beat Connecticut. Playing 2 years in a row here in Chapel Hill. They played the year before in Connecticut, where Connecticut just destroyed North Carolina.
And they will play next year in Stores or in Hartford, and there's Sean May with the first UConn back.
What will negate a shot blocker is a quick put-up. And there you saw how quickly May was able to go ahead and execute the play. Gets a backdoor cut and loses it.
How about that return pass? Underneath into the hands of Emeka Okafor.
Here we saw, just at the top of the show, remember we talked about the high-low, and that was big man to big man. Here we see Boone throwing that ball right in. Okafor goes backdoor on May, who relaxed and got beat badly.
Sean May picks up the foul, and Emeka Okafor, who does not excel at the free throw line, gets his first of the day.
Now he's only shooting 54% from the line. It's about the only Achilles heel that this team has. As a team, they've just broken 60% from the foul line. Not good if you're #1 in the country.
Roy Williams goes to his bench and puts David Noel in for Jawad Williams. That shot not there. Talik Brown for UConn.
You can see Boone not trying to block any of May's shots, just playing position. Good block.
Little runner in the lane, and Felton got a hand on it. They were the UConn ball.
Talik Brown, primarily a ball handler, but did have 20 points in the game against Georgetown. First time this year he's been in double figures. So primarily he's a guy that distributes the ball and keeps good floor balance for his team.
Really excelled in that game against Georgetown. He also had 7 assists and 7 rebounds. That shot from Gordon is short, loose ball, and it is picked up out of bounds, touch last by Felton. Well, how about this quick move, Noel, for Jawad Williams by Roy Williams?
Well, I think that was primarily because of the defensive lack of weak side help on that backdoor cut that Okafor made against May, and there he almost beats him again.
Now back outside, they'll reset with Talik Brown, number 12, a 4-year starter. Into the corner, Gordon, nice rotation, come get the ball, Okafor.
Nice block out by Noel.
Noel gets it, North Carolina, Felton. Jumper for 3.
Got it. That is a huge shot for North Carolina. McCants, who last year had 27 points, 4 or 5 threes. A young man with a great deal of talent. He's got to explode for his team today.
Rashad McCants gets the 3-pointer. Here's Talik Brown.
Had steps on that play. Roy Williams won it, didn't get the call.
Okafor fouled. And I believe this is going to be Sean May's second.
I think maybe Felton gets this one, Vern.
It is Felton, Billy.
We can see right here a good penetration by Felton. Kicks out to McCants. The best way to get open looks on 3 is to have a penetrator like Felton or Brown that can go inside, create a double team, and then find the open man outside beyond 3-point line.
Okafor 5 of 9 the other night against Georgetown. Is 2 of 2 in this game.
And the only loss that this Connecticut team had all year, Okafor was obviously not himself. The back injury caused him to go 2 for 10 in that game against Georgia Tech, taking nothing away from how Georgia Tech played in that game. They manhandled Connecticut, but you know he can play an awful lot better than that.
Well, as a team in that game, as Okafor makes it 3 for 3, UConn was 10 of 30 from the free throw line in that loss back in November. Here's the 3, Okafor with the board. Kicks it to Talik Brown a little too far. Now, miscommunication.
That will be a turnover for Okafor, but it was really Brown's fault. He has to stop running away from the big man, come back and get the ball. One of the things I love about this Connecticut team, and we saw it in practice yesterday, they really play well together. They like to practice together. And this is a team that has great chemistry with the leadership of Brown and Okafor.
14-1 on the season. They have won 11 in a row since that loss to Georgia Tech. And we mentioned the game in common. North Carolina beat Georgia Tech here last Sunday night. There's a rejection.
Boone on Noel. Noel, a tremendous leaper, but good timing by Boone.
There's Okafor. Jawad Williams has him. Kick it outside. Gordon off the dribble. Now Denham Brown. They'll come back and reset.
Nice patience by Connecticut. Good defense by North Carolina.
Pass inside. Taken away by Noel.
And there's a situation Noel saw the ball and his man, so you have the perfect defensive triangle to make the play.
Now Felton and McCants. David Noel. Jumper. Felton. Good.
Malik Brown got caught behind the screen. Didn't fight over the top. He'd probably give that up again. However, force Felton to prove that he can make the jump shot.
Now they start the offense way outside. Here's a little pick and roll with Okafor.
Felton on the year, earned only a 25% three-point shooter. So if you're going to give up anything, you let him take the three to try to cut down on his penetration.
That foul on North Carolina's Rashad McCants. His first. Charlie Villanueva is going to come on the floor now for UConn. And time has been called. Felton cans a long one. 10-8. UConn leads 10-8, 15:35 to go. Roy Williams, back at his alma mater, has joined a rather august group to form a quartet of the winningest coaches ever. Claire B., Adolph Rupp, and John Wooden, the other three who had career percentages above 80%.
I'll tell you something about the two coaches today. Since 1990, Roy Williams has been ousted in the NCAA tournament 4 times by the eventual national champion. Jim Calhoun, 3.
Well, these two guys,
they put themselves in position,
yes, don't they ever. And they are good friends. We saw Roy Williams come into the UConn practice and ask permission to come on the floor and speak with Coach Calhoun yesterday afternoon. Here's the jump stop. Charlie Villanueva in and out. Noel for North Carolina.
Good defense by Noel, and we saw his leaping ability there. There's an explosive drive to the hoop.
And a dish, and Jawad Williams is going to go to the free throw line. Well, both these teams averaging above 85 points per game. North Carolina number 2 to Texas, and UConn at 86.1 trails Wake Forest and Arizona.
One big difference, however, Vern, is this, that Connecticut is averaging 22.8 points more than their opponents. North Carolina, because they're not playing as well on the defensive end, only 13-9. So they are scoring with them at the same clip, but not playing the same kind of defense.
And Jawad Williams gets the first. Well, defensively, this UConn team just outstanding at 36% field goal percentage allowed.
Of North Carolina, Roy Williams is really fighting them to get that kind of practice work ethic that a Connecticut has, or maybe some of his Kansas teams have. So it was really obvious to us yesterday watching the two teams.
There's
both talented.
Jackie Manuel, number 5, who's on the floor, and the jumper by Felton from the corner. And a good job by Denham Brown of getting position. And here's the pass to Talik Brown, who will pass. Bring it outside. Yes, indeed.
You know, Vern, you were looking at him as I was looking at his eyes. He was thinking basket.
Right.
And then he thought, wait a second, I'm 1-on-3 here. Let me hit a man that can finish.
Talik Brown off that superb game.
They're those eyes. He's saying, oh, I can put it up. And then all of a sudden, Okafor, who runs the court very, very well. Young man is, if anybody down in this part of the country wants to think of, well, who is Okafor like? Not the same player, but how about a guy named Battier as far as the kind of leadership quality, skills, academic, personality?
Oh, that's a great pick.
You know, those two guys, as good a characters as been in college basketball a long, long time.
And Michael Okafor, in case you don't know, will graduate in May. He needs 1 course to get his degree in 3 years in finance as a junior.
Now Okafor is on May. Felton should have got him the ball. He was in perfect position.
Rashad Anderson off the bench now for UConn. He's guarding Jackie Manuel. And here's the little jump in the lane. Melvin Scott, the dish, and the stuff from Sean May.
And give Scott credit. He made Okafor play him and kept him on the ground. That allowed May to be wide open.
Villanueva off the pass from Okafor.
Young man has great hands, very smooth. Connecticut doesn't fall off at all. A matter of fact, may pick up offensively when he comes into the game for Boone.
Here's May, little muscle. Turn around, travel. Okafor was guarding him then.
Any great shot blocker, as Okafor is, does not commit coming off the floor. We'll see that there's Okafor, had to come out and respect Scott. When he did that, May was wide open inside. But watch how Okafor will stay on the ground when he's guarding May. May puts that one away easily. That was not Okafor's fault at all. Good steal.
Marcus Williams on the court now, number 5, almost lost it. There's Rashad Anderson. He can shoot.
Boy, he came in against Oklahoma, lit it up in that ball game. He is an explosive scorer, really starting to get things done from the three-point line now.
In that game against the Sooners, the blowout a week ago, he had 13 points off the bench. Jim Calhoun said it was his best game in a Husky uniform.
And also played extremely well defensively. That's probably the one reason he hasn't been getting as much playing time.
Empty pass from McCants. They get it back in his hands. Jumper over Gordon, air ball.
Not a good shot.
Ball, May gets it up off the rim. Manuel goes for the rebound. And finally, Noel cleans it up.
Good job by North Carolina, realizing Okafor would go for the block on May. Everybody else helped out on the boards.
Marcus Williams, the freshman left-hander, goes for the 3 and misses. Now a chance to climb within 1 or 2.
Connecticut won't find many teams that can push the ball up the court against them the way they like to push it up against other people.
There's the dish. Beauty. Oh, how pretty. McCants gets the basket.
I really like what North Carolina is doing here. May is occupying Okafor, who can't play that one-man zone when he's got to keep an eye on May. Tough shot.
Gordon misses. Noel rebounds. 3 on 2. Left side. Manuel stutters, comes back outside. Felton not ready for it.
Nice recovery by Williams.
Empty pass and a foul. Noel will go to the line. Well, we talked to Jim Calhoun last Sunday prior to the Oklahoma game. How good are you? He said, we're pretty good. I'll have a better idea after we complete this 4-game stretch. They've won 2 at North Carolina today, back home in a big one against Pittsburgh on Monday night.
2 on the road, 1 at home, and this one here at North Carolina on the road. Kind of, as I mentioned earlier, unusual to see teams. They have a 4-game set that they're going to play. They start out, the first game was up in Connecticut, and then 2 here at North Carolina, and then next year they go back to Connecticut to play. It's great to see these high-profile programs go head-to-head against each other.
Hilton Armstrong is off the bench now, the 6'11" sophomore. Free throws are good for Noel, a 6-0 North Carolina run. Jawad Williams back on, face mask and all, and a standing O from the crowd here at the Smith Center.
Noel, who was out earlier this year, missed 6 games with an injury to his finger. A huge addition to a team that was not very deep. He gives them a solid player off the bench.
We're tied at 18. And a foul away from the ball.
This is going to be a good matchup here. Manuel on Gordon. Manuel, a terrific defensive player. Gordon, who really hasn't exploded. One of the things, Vern, in watching Gordon practice, you see things that he doesn't do in the game. I mean, obviously, he's an all-American caliber player based on game performance. But in practice, he shows you things that are just sensational.
Now back outside, Villanueva, who has the ability to hit the long one. And Armstrong went over the top of Sean May.
One other thing I ought to point out about the game last year, which North Carolina won, they got off to a huge start in that ball game. Had Connecticut down 23-4. But May did not play. May was injured. So they had Sanders at center for North Carolina. Makes that victory even more incredible.
McCants. Carolina's lead is 2.
With Okafor out of there, Carolina taking that ball right to the hoop.
Gordon drives and picked up the foul. And that will be the 6th team foul on North Carolina.
Now here is what a great player does, Vern. Gordon realizes his team is down 2. He's got Okafor on the bench, and he's got Denham Brown on the bench, and he has Talik Brown on the bench. So you know what? I'm supposed to take over, which is exactly what he did right there.
And this is one of the things that you were talking about yesterday after the practice, that some of the things you see him do in practice, he needs to just be more aggressive in games.
Yeah, I think sometimes he's a little bit too unselfish. He is a very difficult guy to guard. He's got a great outside shot, tremendous penetrator, can really finish because he has tremendous leaping ability and very powerful upper body.
Ben Gordon gets 1 of 2, and we've got something cooking here in Chapel Hill.
The #1 bullseye, as I said, Vern, that #1 position's shaky this year, even though Connecticut is an outstanding team. You can see that North Carolina is going right after them. The star centers are showing us what we expected. Maybe not explosive stats so far, but they both can really play. Born to run, I'd say that North Carolina has actually pushed the ball up the floor better than Connecticut.
Make sure you vote now and get the results at Singular at the half as we go back to our New York studios.
You know, coaches learn from each other, and watching Connecticut's practice yesterday, it reminded me of the Oklahoma teams of the mid and late 80s under Billy Tubbs. That was the kind of practice that they had. About 80% of it spent on offense. For North Carolina, about 90% of their practice was spent on defense. Two great coaches approaching this game entirely different.
There's a foul underneath on Denham Brown. Well, Roy Williams is really irritated with his team because they gave up 54% from the field in the loss at Maryland and actually had them run what are called euphemistically suicide drills.
Sliding, too. Sliding yes. Sideways.
And
he said he wasn't tired.
He said, you guys keep going. I'm not tired yet.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't sleep after the loss at Maryland, went back through box scores from the last couple of years at Kansas and said in 75 games, he could find only 3 occasions when teams shot better than 50% against the Jayhawks.
And remember, Kentucky blistered North Carolina for 56% in that second half and beating them over in Lexington.
10-1 run for North Carolina. Double dribble.
Nice job by Williams on Boone. Now you have the starting lineup back intact for Connecticut. Jim Calhoun knew before this game started he had a ball game in his hands, and he really knows it now.
22-19. This run by North Carolina has a turnover. Talik Brown looks for help. It's coming from Denham Brown, and he's off balance. Cleared by Gordon. Jumper no. Tipped and controlled by North Carolina.
Great dribble.
McCants manual. Trouble controlling it. Jawad Williams pump fake. Kicks it outside. McCants. Follow. No. Tipped by Okafor. Controlled by Gordon.
And look at them come right back and push this ball up the floor. They don't think anybody can stay with them in a transition game.
Okafor a little too short with the shot.
Now here's May, who knows that he can't run all day long with the help that he's going to get off the bench. He wants to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, he's still bothered, I think, a little bit by an ankle that he twisted 2 or 3 weeks ago. What a pass underneath. McCants. Basket, Jackie Manuel.
Manuel, a hard-nosed player inside. Really tough.
Now that encourages the crowd.
Denham Brown has not gotten on track so far in this game. Here he comes.
McCants, May.
There he is.
Denham Brown.
Yep. He's a guy that can explode. He can have 20-point games, a silent killer from the outside.
Underneath. Turnover right to the hands of Sean May. Tomorrow, a trip to the Super Bowl on the line when NFL co-MVP Peyton Manning leads the Colts against Tom Brady and the Patriots. The excitement begins with Jim, Dan, Dion, and Boomer on the NFL Today. For more, go to NFL.com or NFL on AOL. 24-21. This really is only the 3rd road trip of the season for this UConn team. There's the pass to Okafor. They played at Rice and won that. That was a tribute game for Emeka Okafor. And then at Rutgers the other week where they won a 1-point game. A couple of games at Madison Square Garden. They lost to Georgia Tech there. Here's May.
Got fouled, but May should have put that ball right up. He's got to go ahead and make Boone try to block the shot.
Denham Brown spots up for 3 off the mark.
Long rebounds going to Connecticut so far.
And that one rolls right to the feet of Emeka Okafor.
A #1 rebounder in the country. You don't expect him to get one at half court. That's got to be the longest long rebound he's ever had in his career.
Dad, you should have seen that last rebound with 5 to go in the half. Here's Denham Brown. Nice move.
Denham's starting to pick it up right now. He is on a lot of teams. He would be the leading scorer without question. Here's May again, the last guy down the floor. He's starting to wear down a little bit with his pace.
Scott got it. That's for two, Melvin Scott.
Roy Williams going to have to give May periodic blows in this game, regardless of the score, because the pace of this game is wearing him down. It will take away his effectiveness.
26-25 with 8:24 to go.
May's playing 28 minutes a game. Okafor,
Beauty.
Okafor did not have that shot as a freshman. He's worked on that part of his game.
And he's got 12 points now. He's off a 27-point, 15-rebound game the other night against Georgetown. And there's Josh Boone with the block.
There's an alteration of the shot by Okafor. The Cants had to change it.
Travel.
That's the bailout call by the official. They love to call walking on that play because they don't feel it should be a foul.
Time call.
Shot doesn't hit it. It worked out fine for North Carolina because Scott gets it. Brown leaves him. Scott wide open for an easy jumper. But May is going to have to explode for maybe 6 to 8 minutes at a stretch and then take some time off.
Well, the television time was opportune for him. Yes,
it did.
So he stays on the floor. 27-26 under 8 to go. It's Felton, May, Noel, Melvin Scott, who's got the ball in his hands right now. And there's May, short, and Okafor defensively.
Out of the side of his eye, he's looking for Okafor. He's just got to go up strong and make that work. And there is a guy going up strong, Charlie Villanueva. Tremendous finisher, great hands inside.
Villanueva, the freshman from Brooklyn, New York, set out the first 6 games. Oh, Felton to Noel.
Set play with a good back screen by North Carolina.
UConn 29-28.
Two pretty good teams here, Vern.
Yes, indeed.
Nice
backdoor cut. Anderson can't control it. Here's David Noel. May, who's 2 for 9, make it 2 for 10. And again, the presence of Okafor underneath.
Exactly. What North Carolina giving him too much respect. It's best to take the ball right at the shot blocker, get right in his body.
And a push off on UConn.
Here we see that backdoor cut. Good screen. And Noel, who is a terrific leaper, way up over the top. The young man from Durham, North Carolina, a high school all-star football player with scholarship offers both here to North Carolina, to Duke, to NC State. And he ends up being a basketball player at North Carolina, and a good one.
Sean May gets a blow. Byron Sanders is on the floor. There's a pick from Sanders.
Remember last year, Sanders was a starting center.
There's another screen, and he fights for the rebound, gets the offensive board, and then misfires badly in the putback.
Again, giving Okafor too much credit. They should take it right at him.
Little stutter step by Gordon. Gordon with the rebound, and there's Villanueva. Up and in.
A lot of size out there when you have Villanueva and Okafor.
Charlie Villanueva, who sat out those first 6 games of the year, as we said, as questions were answered about his involvement in an NBA pre-draft camp last summer. Answered to the satisfaction of the NCAA, and Scott with another.
That's the second time Gordon let Scott wide open.
Tied at 31. 6 to go first half. Josh Boone getting ready to come back on for UConn.
I would say that Roy Williams got his message across. His team playing much tougher defense in this game than they did against Maryland.
Okafor and Sanders. No, Okafor traveled. Well, let's take a look at this blocking ability of this Connecticut team.
Now that was a good one by Boone. And here you see shots that are being altered by Okafor, some that are being blocked, but a lot that are being altered as well. So aggressive.
Well, and it's not just Okafor, Billy. They've got 3 other guys who are in double digits with blocks for the year.
Absolutely.
Okafor has 2. There's the backdoor cut again. And there's Boone battling for the ball, but North Carolina gets it.
Nice job by May. This team, Connecticut, came in with 143 blocks on the year.
Boone, too strong.
Arrested May comes and gets a strong rebound. Manuel can finish.
Dennon Brown is there, and the basket goes to Jackie Manuel.
Terrific running of the ball by North Carolina.
4-point lead, North Carolina. UConn in a battle. They're the #1 team in the country, 14-1. This is in the coaches poll. The #2 team, Duke, they won this afternoon, just 20 minutes from here at Cameron Indoor. Wake Forest fell to
that #team.
Yes. The game was close in the first half. Stanford, a team you really like, and Tubby Smith, Kentucky, #5.
Had to struggle a little bit at home early on with Georgia today, but Kentucky, that solid veteran first five, plays so well together.
Raymond Felton picks up that foul. It'll be 1-1. Thus far, shooting percentages 44-41. Rebounds even at 17, and points in the paint at 14-16. And Talik Brown is at the line.
And that spells trouble for Connecticut. Brown only shooting 52%. Something you don't want to see out of your point guard. Over the back comes Villanueva, no call.
Roy Williams protesting that non-call. Board goes into the hands of UConn. Now Okafor and Villanueva. Here's Villanueva short with the shot.
Another long rebound.
Felton has it. Nice pass. And Villanueva, hard foul as Manuel goes down.
What I like about Manuel as opposed to the other North Carolina players, he is taking it right in there, not worrying about the shot blocking at all.
Check out CBS Sportsline's projections of the 65 schools that could make up this year's NCAA tournament. Just click on NCAA Hoops at cbssportsline.com.
Well, we talked about Talik Brown from the foul line. Manuel only shooting 46% from the line. He's worked at his shot selection this year to be much better from the field. Not looking to take the outside shot and going to the hoop beautifully today.
Josh Boone, young man from Poughkeepsie, New York, who spent his high school years in Mount Airy, Maryland, is back on the floor. True freshman.
Vern, we talked about North Carolina trying to knock off the #1. Connecticut, back in 1998, came down to Greensboro, North Carolina in the NCAA tournament to try to knock off #1 North Carolina. They weren't successful at that, but Jim Calhoun maintains that that's what started the run to the '99 championship.
There's the pass into Boone. Gets it on the floor. Okafor over Williams. Did not get the roll, but there's Boone with the offensive putback.
Nice job by Boone, an unheralded freshman. He's really doing the job.
How about that? Jawad Williams.
North Carolina showing they can go inside. Williams doing a good job catching the ball with that mask on his face, which was so difficult for him yesterday in practice.
Denham Brown, young man, a sophomore from Toronto. And that will be retained by UConn. North Carolina, Billy, inside.
That was a beautiful catch by Williams, and this young man was off to a tremendous start this year prior to the concussion, the 3 stitches in the head, and then the broken nose, so you can see the setbacks. And when he came back and played against Kentucky, and remember this, Vern, he had great stats at that time, averaging over 17 a game, but was nowhere near himself had he not been able to practice for about a week there. So doing a terrific job here with that heavy mask on.
Well, that was after the concussion suffered against UNC Wilmington. And then had another concussion. Here's Gordon with the three-pointer. Wow.
Great square up. Terrific range on the shot.
And that one tipped by Denham Brown. It'll be UNC's ball. Ben Gordon with 7 points now. 3:49 remaining.
Well, who's going to set a good solid screen for Felton. After he sets the solid screen, Felton will come off. And then Noel gets the good solid screen, comes around, and Felton delivers to the basket. Terrific offensive maneuver by North Carolina. Second screen, lob pass, nobody there to help. Good play.
David Noel off the bench with 6 points. And Jackie Manuel adds 5, so 11 of the 38 points for Carolina off. And this is not a terrifically deep team.
No, but Roy Williams now starting to figure out where he can play the pieces. They think the key is going to be how can he keep May on the bench enough to keep him rested. And he's using Sanders out there right now.
Melvin Scott, Denham Brown defensively. Gordon on Manuel. Reach around behind and Jackie Manuel.
How many people do you know in the country can go ahead and take the ball from Gordon? Not many. Manuel did a terrific job.
And Gordon misfires with the runner. There's the dish left side. Strong off the glass, not there. Byron Sanders rejected. Oh, boy.
But that was all right, Vern. Okafor came from the weak side to block that shot, but Sanders did the right thing. Put it up at the basket. Make him work.
Third block in this game. He averages 5 per game. He is the all-time block leader at UConn, now with 369 in his career.
Well, remember all the great Georgetown shot blockers, Patrick Ewing, Dikembe Mutombo. They played when there was not a three-point shot. So, you know, they could go ahead and control that inside. A lot of teams tried to take it into them. Same thing with Alonzo Mourning. Okafor has to do this with the three-point shot being available.
Third block in this game. He has a triple-double this year, and there's a
hold on Gordon.
Yep.
It wouldn't have been seen except for something that's interesting. See how Scott's shirt is out right now?
Right.
His shirt is not supposed to be out. Had the shirt not been out, Gordon wouldn't have got caught grabbing a piece of it. So a little semi-violation by Scott created the hold by Gordon.
Melvin Scott at the line. Seven fouls each team. And he'll shoot another.
Scott, like Denham Brown, is a guy that can explode for big point totals as the third type scorer that's playing in this game right now for North Carolina.
We saw him at Kentucky. 16 points in that game and a 5-point loss. He gets both, and it's a 42-36 ball game. Scott has 7 points.
Two things North Carolina has done to get into this league. Played much better defense than I've seen them play all year long. And number 2, push the ball up the floor beautifully.
That one's saved by Gordon over and back.
Great job by the official. Without 3 officials, no one ever gets to that spot. This is a brilliant call by the official. Watch that right there. It couldn't have been more than a quarter of an inch. The official was all over it.
That was Les Jones who made the call.
I never know their names, but it was a good call.
2:50 to go in the first half. North Carolina leads by 6 over the top-ranked Huskies of UConn. There's the screen from Jawad Williams. Takes a long three-pointer. In and out, rebound into the hands of Denham Brown. Jumper, guard position. Nope. Coming up on Singular at the half, Gus Johnson, Bill Raftery, and Seth Davis. We'll update you on all of today's scores and highlights. Plus, Jim Nantz and the NFL Today crew will preview tomorrow's Colts-Patriots AFC Championship game. And you'll get the results of the Singular keys to the game at Singular after that. Felton, foul. Malik Brown.
Boy, when Felton is in the game, you see how the complexion changes completely. They get the ball in his hands, the offense gets started, and he is now looking to penetrate on Malik Brown. This is the first time that I've seen Connecticut a little back on their heels. You know, they realize right now that they are playing against a very good basketball team that's come to play. Okafor looked like he was a little tired the last time down the floor.
Raymond Felton, they made the trip UConn did back to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to play a game earlier. This is the first as they retired his high school number 20 from Latta, South Carolina, where he was National High School Player of the Year in 2002.
Felton earlier this year set a new all-time assist record for the University of North Carolina. When you think of all the great guards they've had here, that's doing something. Ed Cota, of course, third leading assist man in the history of the NCAA tournament. One of those that he surpassed.
A guy named Phil Ford.
Phil Ford, not a bad man.
Nope.
He's still the leading scorer at this great university's basketball program.
And a part of the broadcast team now with Woody Durham and Mick Mixon for North Carolina. 43-36, largest North Carolina lead.
1-4 set by Connecticut, bringing everybody up high.
Marcus Williams on at the point now, replacing Malik Brown. This is the freshman from Los Angeles, number 5. And Gordon not ready for the pass.
Great defense that time by Terry, the freshman.
There's a beautiful pass off the glass into the hands of Okafor. He averages double-digit rebounds. He averages a double-double. And there's the dish, Denham Brown, and an offensive foul.
Now there's some guts. You've got a broken nose. You've suffered a concussion. You've had 3 stitches on your eye. And you stand in there and take the charge against a guy that weighs about 215. That's what it takes to come away with a win when you do things like that.
Denham Brown will sit. Rashad Anderson back for UConn, number 31.
What Jim Calhoun would be a little bit disappointed with there, Denham had the pull-up jump shot. Tried to take it one dribble too far.
95 seconds to go before the break. And North Carolina leading by 7. They got Marcus Williams with a hold.
That was an unfortunate foul for Connecticut, and a cheap foul, not the way you want to play defense.
Well, UConn not one of the undefeated teams. That list has dwindled now to a precious few. Pittsburgh, St. Joseph, Stanford, Cincinnati. You like any of those teams to equal Indiana's record of 76?
Run the table. You know, the odds are not in anybody's favor anymore to run the table, particularly when you got to win 6 games to win the national championship. We do have a guy in the arena today, but he paces outside the
That's
arena.
right.
By the name of Scott May, whose son is playing on the floor right now, who was part of that team. He and Phil Ford were at practice yesterday. 2 members of the 1976 gold medal Olympic team, good friends, and obviously 2 of the guys that won National Players of the Year at their respective schools.
9-point North Carolina lead with 1:23 to go before halftime. Josh Boone, Jawad Williams, it's on the floor, held ball, possession arrow, North Carolina.
Did Roy Williams get the point across, or did he get the point across for him yesterday in practice that he is not going to allow any team that plays for him to shoot 56% without having to suffer in practice? And I believe the guy's got the message.
Well, 3 teams have been above 52 for the game. That was Maryland the other night. Here's the hustle play down low. And in the loss to Wake Forest here, Billy, 119 to 114 in triple overtime. Wake Forest shot above 50%, and then there was that Kentucky second half. Other than that, but Williams emphasizing get back on defense yesterday.
Well, you'd like to hold opponents under 40%. There's opponents are shooting 47% against them. Look at Oakford bodying up on May. Can May handle him?
Not this time.
On the ball.
Yep.
May is realizing I'm playing against a guy that can really play some defense. This is great defense. Just terrific defense by Okafor. Look at that. Right on the ball. Shows strength, timing, good footwork. Got the whole package.
1 minute to go before halftime.
There you go up in the air to make that catch.
Rashawn Terry.
That's another hold by Williams. Those are cheap fouls. You cannot afford to commit those kind of fouls when you're having your team playing half-court defense. Just giving points away.
Melvin Scott's going to go back to the free throw line.
Those are 2 big freshman mistakes right there by Williams. Just not playing solid D.
There's Scott, a 56% free throw shooter, and he's perfect from the line in this ball game. He's now canned all 5 attempts. And Jim Calhoun is a little dismayed with his freshman point guard and sits him down.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to get much playing time when you make mistakes like that and give up 4 points to an opponent that you're trying to hold down.
Double-digit lead. It's at 11.
Is Gordon ready to explode? Scott thinks he's going to get the turn. Crossover dribble.
There's the dish baseline. Rejected by Sean May. And North Carolina, Melvin Scott.
Terry needs to pull that ball back out. If you were Roy Williams, you'd love to have Felton back out on the floor right now.
Scott, Jawad Williams. And there's a reach in by Anderson.
Oh, it counts.
And a basket.
Williams is totally disregarding the broken nose. He's sticking it right in there. We saw it on defense, and now we see it on offense.
He struggled so much at Maryland in 12 minutes, 2 for 7. Well, we asked the question, why the mask? Maybe that's why. It gives him the freedom to be aggressive.
It's a good move by Roy Williams as well. With 26 seconds to go, he gets May out of the game. He's going to get Williams out of the game as well. Ooh, referee talking to George Blaney over there on the sidelines, telling him he better take it easy. The last thing you want is a freshman committing 2 fouls that you don't want. And the next thing is a senior assistant who gets a technical foul, particularly when you've got the ball.
14-point lead. Last 8 minutes have been owned by North Carolina. Now Gordon off the dribble. Stripped. 3-on-2.
Plenty of time.
Left side. Dish. McCants.
Oh, it's a offensive foul. Terry. That was a terrific play by Tolles on the inside, because that was an easy layup. I don't think I'd have called that play, Vern. He was not in position. You'll see the play right here. Watch him sneak underneath. No way that should have been a foul.
At the end of the half, there's another strip from Scott.
Oh, and I think a foul.
A foul is called.
Who is it
as the buzzer
on?
went?
Is this going to be a charge? Wow. Jim Calhoun is hot. This might be a little makeup call for the one down the other end, Vern. Jim Calhoun is hot. That's what happens when you go on the road. Where is the foul?
I'm not sure.
Reach. I didn't like either one of those calls.
The foul is called on Talik Brown, his third.
That was just a reach. But I didn't think the one on the other end should have been a charge, and I don't think the official should have called this. You'll see Brown is going to get called for the reach after the rebound is... Oh, we missed it right there.
Yep. Here's Sanders at the line. Half is over. And this, an attempt to establish a 15-point lead. But 14 will do.
A good job by Sanders. He played some minutes, and he didn't cost North Carolina anything negative.
Tar Heels end the half with a 19-3 run. That's the end of the first half.
These classic hamburgers. It's better here.
Top-ranked UConn has lost once this year. That was to Georgia Tech back on November 26th. In that game, they trailed at the half by 7. In this one, they are down by 14 to North Carolina as we get underway. Vern Lundquist and Billy Packer. Here's Denham Brown off the mark.
A Georgia Tech team that North Carolina beat on this very floor. Nice pass.
Last Sunday night, 103-88.
Good block by Gordon. But North Carolina continued to push that ball right at Connecticut.
Gordon kicks it back. Anderson, who's on the floor to start this second 20 minutes, cans the three.
Talik Brown not in the game, which means Gordon will be handling the point guard position now. So it's Anderson, Denham Brown. So a bigger team on the floor than the normal starting lineup.
And Talik Brown picked up his third foul on the final play of the first half. Here's a turnaround jumper that is up and good.
Tough shot over Boone.
Emeka Okafor, Rashad Anderson tries his second three. In and out. Sean May with a rebound.
Nice hands and a good outlet pass.
3-on-3. Melvin Scott had 11 in the first half. Gets the return pass from Rashad McCants. Here's Jawad Williams. Oh, boy.
Well, he is getting used to that mask, Vern. Now, that is what he's capable of, though. I don't want you to think that the player that we saw at Kentucky is the player that Williams really is. He's showing now that the guy that you would expect to see, almost an all-conference type player.
Okafor, nice soft jumper.
Just as he started the game, that beautiful turnaround jumper down and low. Nice
Jawad Williams has 12 points for North Carolina. Okafor now with 14.
Boone really bodying up with May down on the inside. Okafor trying to play that one-man zone. Good push-off.
And McCants pulls up and cans it.
That was subtle, but with the shoulder, he got Okafor off his body.
And a little cheap reach-in foul, Rashad McCants. Well, let's take a look at the singular halftime stats.
Well, a couple of things jumped out at me also is the fact that turnovers, North Carolina only had 6, Connecticut had 14. Free throw shots, North Carolina made 15, Connecticut only 5. So those were big differences in that first half.
And of those 6 turnovers, only 1, Billy, in the last 10 minutes. They played relatively error-free basketball for 10 of the first 20 minutes of the game. Now Ben Gordon.
Nice pass.
Boy, it was terrific, wasn't it?
Perfect pass. Okafor held his ground, did not move until he made the catch. Perfect execution.
Okafor now with 16 points for UConn. Entry pass to May, puts the shoulder down.
He's going to get a foul, offensive foul for the push. But give May credit now for taking the ball at Okafor instead of trying to deny it. There's Okafor. That was the perfect catch. Great feed by Gordon outside. Gordon's certainly capable, and there was the push by May. Trying to use that body.
Second foul on Sean May. As Noel goes for the steal. There's Okafor. Turn around again. Beauty. Boy, that part of his game has improved so much.
It really has. A perfect release. Nice soft touch. He squares up and gets a nice look at the basket.
7 of 10 from the field for Emeka Okafor.
Big screen.
Alley-oop.
We saw that play earlier in the game, but a good adjustment by Anderson not to be caught by the screen, so there was no opening for Noel.
Jawad Williams back on the floor for Roy Williams, and Sean May will get a rest.
It's a relatively small lineup on the floor right now, with May sitting down and Connecticut staying big with Boone and Okafor on the floor.
Boone at 6'10", Okafor at 6'10". Alley-oop.
No, not there.
Okafor.
Telegraph.
Ben Gordon. And Felton's going to get called for the foul. That's his third. Well, North Carolina, with losses to Wake Forest at home in triple overtime. They also lost at Kentucky. We saw that one. And then losing to Maryland the other night. They had played quite a challenging schedule. Here's Okafor. And a rare miss for him in this ball game.
And here's where North Carolina has been so successful. Beating Connecticut down the floor and pushing the ball.
Kantz with the knockaway. Guarded by Anderson. Williams. Jump stop. Okafor. Quick hands.
Oh, boy. Okafor has such great balance with his feet.
Denham Brown.
Nice block out.
At the other end, Scott, too much.
North Carolina a little bit out of sync right now with this lead. Okafor really doing a solid job bringing his team back here in the second half. Nice turnaround jumpers on the inside. Excellent movement to catch the ball. North Carolina out of sync.
And North Carolina, with those 6 first-half turnovers, only 1 in the last 10 minutes, has committed 4 miscues in the early going here. On the floor, Scott, it'll be North Carolina ball. And Jim Calhoun said, what?
Well, he felt that Anderson had been knocked to the floor. That's why he lost the ball, and probably has a pretty good point there.
I think so. 16:27 to go in this one. 12-point margin. There's the turnover story.
Connecticut playing really good half-court defense right now. That dance. Denham Brown. Just as I get it out of my mouth, Denham Brown relaxed and got beat.
That was for 2. And McCants has 13 points. Josh Boone at the other end.
Well, just too big for Noel, even though Noel can jump as long as Boone held his position. It's a pretty easy play. Good recognition by Connecticut.
Scott looks inside. Here's McCants with the attempted dish. Boone gets it.
Getting a little sloppy here in the last 3 or 4 minutes with the ball. It's really costing him.
Gordon in the corner. Anderson, yes. And a foul offensively.
It's going to be Denham Brown on a push against Scott down low. Brown didn't have to do that because he had superior size. The basket will count, however. Anderson is doing a good job off the bench with his outside shooting, and you're going to see Scott gets knocked to the ground.
Foul on Denham Brown. That's his third. Time has been called. Get back to 1993, North Carolina against Michigan in the national title game. The Tar Heels up by 2 with seconds remaining when Chris Webber memorably dribbled the ball up the floor and called a timeout he did not have. Michigan charged with a technical foul, and the Tar Heels went on to win 77-71, one of 3 NCAA championships for this team. There's the 93 banner. They also won a 4th national championship in 1924. And, of course, the Final Four brought to you on CBS from San Antonio, April 3rd and 5th. That 2014, Billy, undefeated, 26-0. And so voted by the Helms Foundation.
Mythical champions in those days.
Right.
No tournament playoff.
Here's Scott. Empty pass. They get it back outside to Jackie Manuel.
Manuel's not a jump shooter, so the ball goes back outside. He's no threat to take the shot.
Fresh 35 on the shot clock.
Good job by Roy Williams to get May back in there. His team was much too small to play against the lineup that Connecticut has on the floor.
Inbound play, not quite there. Knocked out of bounds. And UConn will get it, trailing by 9.
And Manuel had a big advantage. Talik Brown tried to handle him. Now we've got Manuel on Anderson because of the way Anderson's been shooting. Carolina's probably best perimeter defender is Manuel.
Here's Josh Boone, number 21.
There's a hold on May. Touch foul. Referee is changing a little bit here in this second half, calling things much tighter. Jim Calhoun has to love that.
That is the 3rd foul on Sean May.
His bench much deeper, particularly with size. So to get May in foul trouble would be a big advantage for Connecticut.
Josh Boone.
And a bad
And a steal to Talik Brown. Kicks it back to Josh Boone. And then Anderson comes back outside. Good decision.
Well, you can see Talik Brown did not like being on that bench. He has come out here on fire.
Gordon traveled. Whoa. Now Talik Brown sat the first 5 minutes because of 3 fouls. Monday on an all-new Late Show, Dave welcomes MTV's newlyweds, Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. And later this week, don't miss Matthew Broderick, Kristen Davis, and Ashton Kutcher. Dave's all-new Monday right here on CBS. Charlie Villanueva will come back on.
This is what I'm talking about. See, Villanueva can come in. Boone goes out, but Connecticut stays big. When North Carolina takes May out, they become small, too small to play against Connecticut's 2 big men.
7-point game. Here's Scott, guarded by Anderson to switch. Now Anderson gets back on it. Raymond Felton. Manuel looks inside. Puts it into May. And a foul is called on Okafor.
Again, we talked about May. Remember the foul that he committed with the offensive foul on the maneuver just a minute or so ago. But what he's doing now, as opposed to the first half, he is taking the ball right at Okafor, which is the smart thing to do. Try to reduce the distance between yourself and the shot block.
That is the first foul on Emeka Okafor, and Sean May goes to the free throw line. He'll shoot one more.
And that's an interesting stat, Darren. You just said the first foul on Okafor. He is a very intelligent player. Stays on the floor, doesn't commit to the last second. Kind of guy you want on your team.
Now here comes Talik Brown. Charlie Villanueva is back on the floor. Number 3.
Noel on him. So Noel would be able to stay up with him even inside with that leaking ability.
Oh, good job by Noel. Here's Brown. Anderson with the jumper. Got it.
He has been the man off the bench today with his outside shooting. Terrific.
11 points for Rashad Anderson. They try the entry pass for May. Good job of muscling him up by Okafor. Now he fronts it. There's the jumper outside. No, and Villanueva, good position for the rebound, threw it away.
But Okafor's standing back there, and he's just going to force.
And a miss, yes. There was Okafor.
Okafor stood back there. He took away the opportunity for the drive.
And Villanueva missed the point-blank shot that will shoot free throws. How about Emeka Okafor?
That was terrific defense on his part. So much respect for him that Felton, who would normally drive that to the basket, had to pull up and take the jump shot, and Okafor was able to get the rebound as well.
So Villanueva goes to the line. Let's talk about the domino effect in college basketball, but first we'll look at Okafor. Villanueva gets the first.
There it is. There's the block. Good touch. Then he goes up against a strong rebound inside. Quite a player.
Okafor gets a rest, and Villanueva back out there. Here's the point. Roy Williams was the coach at Kansas. He elects to come home to North Carolina. Charlie Villanueva had committed orally to Illinois, but when Bill Self left and took the Kansas job because Williams had left, Charlie Villanueva ultimately opted to go to Connecticut. Little falling dominoes. 5-point game. And Roy Williams, as the foul is called, derisively with some cynicism, raised his arms and said, well, about time.
But here's what I like that North Carolina players are doing. Rather than showing the ultimate respect what they did in the first half, they are taking the ball at the shot blockers, putting themselves on the line. Okafor's rest is going to be about 30 seconds.
That's right. David Noel, no. And here comes Emeka Okafor. Charlie Villanueva, who just picked up his third foul, heads back to the bench. And Hilton Armstrong is going to come on. Now here's a young guy that can't get playing minutes now. And he started the last 22 games last year.
Absolutely. And again, we talk about that deep bench that Connecticut has in all positions. As an example, Anderson coming up with a big game today is a guy that, you know, if he hadn't made the trip, it wasn't like that they don't have a player that can replace him.
In the corner, foul, UConn, Ben Gordon. Second foul on Gordon.
Here's Manuel again fighting for the ball. Gordon tries to hold him off, but has to push.
14 fouls on UConn.
North Carolina still having problems in the half court, however, getting good looks. Connecticut playing much better defense in this second half.
Now they got Okafor way out on Jawad Williams. That ball is stripped and taken away. Here's Gordon, finds Talik Brown. Rashad Anderson wants it in the far corner.
And Anderson was the guy that slapped that ball away to start that break.
5-point game, 13 to go.
Noel on Okafor, a mismatch.
Now he fronts Okafor. They can't get the ball into him. There it is. Yep.
Yeah, that's a mismatch. And North Carolina is going to have to use Sanders when they're going to try to get a substitute in there for May. They've got to get some size.
Raymond Felton, that one was out of control, and the missed free throw, three-pointer.
You can see Noel giving up just too much size to Okafor in there, and a very smart move by Connecticut to go ahead and be patient till they can get their big man the ball.
UConn has come within 3. They were down 14 at the half. 12:40 to go. Gordon, entry pass. Okafor, got it.
Timeout, North Carolina. They've got to get a bigger man in the ball game.
1-point game. There is the timeout. Emeka Okafor, 22 points.
When you look at two teams right here, Wake Forest and Kentucky. Wake Forest and Kentucky probably going to drop. That wasn't any big loss for Wake Forest. However, losing at Duke stayed with them fairly well. Connecticut holding their ground. St. Joe's stays undefeated with Cincinnati. Arizona having some problems. That is going to be a very tough game against UCLA tonight, a team that's improving greatly.
Well, at the half, just before play began, this was the scene. Emeka Okafor with the two freshmen, Josh Boone, Charlie Villanueva.
Yeah, he was holding his own session over there, called them both over, and was giving them the instructions of what he wanted to do in the second half. Again, the signs of great leadership. A little different set by North Carolina. Beautifully done.
And David Noel gets it around the rim, and it drops through. 3-point Carolina lead.
I love the timeout by Roy Williams. Set up a special offensive set, putting Felton right down in the center, but he's still small inside.
Okafor, that's the first miss in his last 6 shots. He's got 22 points. Now North Carolina gets the ball back.
And North Carolina, whenever they do get the ball off the boards, they're going to have to try to get the fast break so that they don't have to play Connecticut in a half-court set all the time. They've got to get some easy baskets if they're going to prevail in this game.
Largest lead was 16 just after the break at 57-41. Here's Jawad Williams off the iron, and Okafor with another rebound. He's got 7 now, 4 blocks. The jumper, Gordon, in and out. He's been cold again today, as he was a year ago when these two teams played. He hit his first shot, but he's now 2 for 10.
And he was 0 for 8 from 3 last year against North Carolina. Look at what they have. See, they have Felton on the foul line right here. It's a different set, pulling everybody out high, looking for some backdoor cuts. Talik Brown has Felton.
By using an imagination, I can almost see Phil Ford at that free throw line.
Well, you didn't have a shot clock then,
right?
So they could have pulled it out and kept it there.
Spin move, Felton. Noel blocked, and a foul is called. Contact called on Talik Brown.
That's his 4th, isn't it?
That's his 4th.
That will hurt Connecticut in this respect. I realize Talik has not had the big game, but his leadership in tight games would certainly help them. He's going to have to sit There's the reach in right there by Brown. Okafor would have had another block shot. So a costly foul.
Noel with 8 points and 7 rebounds will have the free throw here. Denham Brown replaces Talik Brown for UConn. And Hilton Armstrong will head to the bench as Josh Boone comes back on.
Well, Noel kind of broke out as a premier player against Duke last year. At Duke, he was 8 for 14, 19 points. So he shows that he belongs up with the big guys in terms of ability to put up offensive production.
See that bandage on his right thumb? He missed the first 6 games.
Favor right now. You can see North Carolina not being able to push the ball up the floor, and that's because they're playing with such a small team. I really think North Carolina is going to have to give Sanders some minutes. He played, I realize he missed those 2 free throws at the end of the first half, but they've got to have a little bigger team. Now they go zone for the first time today. Right. Roy Williams trying to see how he can offset the size advantage that Connecticut has. With Gordon not having the big day shooting outside, he's taking the chance that maybe Gordon doesn't hit.
Rashad Anderson has had a big day. How about that? And a nice pass from Gordon to find it.
They are surrounding that. They surrounded the zone that time with Brown and Anderson, who's shooting very well, and Gordon, although not shooting well, you know he's a real threat from out there.
Rashad Anderson with 14 points, 11 of which have come in this half. Rashad McCants, he's got 13. And Jawad Williams in the corner, a 1-point game. It was 14 for North Carolina at the half.
And Gordon back to having to play the point guard position, both ends of the floor.
Big basket, Jawad Williams.
Now, one of the good things about Williams right now is that Okafor has to go out and play him on the perimeter. But here's where there's a big disadvantage. Okafor just too big for him inside.
Basket counts and a free throw.
I really think Roy Williams is going to have to get Sanders in the game to steal some minutes. He's got to have more size on the floor. Okafor goes right around. Williams tries to stay with him, but just giving up too much size.
Okafor, who struggles at the free throw line, is 4 of 5 today. And he shoots this one. In and out, tip no good. Offensive board, no. Boone got it. Wow.
How long can North Carolina stay small? I don't think much longer.
Tied at 67. Here's Felton. Loses control. It's on the ground and picked up by Okafor. At the other end, Jackie Manuel gets back.
Great hustle.
9:23 to go. Oh, brother! Absolutely clean. Here's Gordon for 3. Yes! What a block. William Okafor.
And that was against Manuel, who is a good finisher. But no contest in there for the nation's top shot blocker.
5 blocks, and then at the other end, Gordon for 3, and UConn leads. Let's take another look at the block.
We're talking about against anybody else in college basketball, Manuel has himself maybe a dunk, much less a layup. Okafor just negated it completely. May back into the ball game. He was going for a dunk, and Okafor just goes way up. Perfect timing. Commits very few fouls on his shot blocking too, Vern, which is a real asset.
Well, it takes your voice away. I don't know about your breath.
McCants inside. Now he's got to be aware of Okafor there as well.
Foul called on Anderson.
No, I don't think so. Jump. Let's see. Oh, you're right.
It's on Okafor. It's his second. With the conclusion of today's game, we'll select the Chevy Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund, a tradition for over 30 years.
Neither one of these teams good free throw shooting clubs. North Carolina at 66%, Connecticut at 60%.
One more.
You know, to put it in proper perspective, McCants last year as a freshman had 12 20-point games. So, you know, he is capable of some big explosions.
UConn by 1, 8:45 to go.
North Carolina gets out of that zone they showed one time down the floor. Back to man-to-man.
Entry pass off the pick and roll. Okafor turnaround, not there. Noel and Boone fight for it. Okafor picks up the loose ball.
Well, Noel, a good leaper, but he's given up a good 3 inches to Boone, maybe more in a number of pounds. That ball was just pulled loose.
8:25 to go. McCants off the pass into the hands of May, and he loses control. Here's Ben Gordon. Gordon back outside. Looks inside for Boone. Takes the jumper instead. In and out. Boone almost got the offensive board. And May's tired again, Billy.
Well, he can't afford to be tired now. 8 minutes to go. He's going to have to gut it out the rest of the way.
Under 8.
McCants ought to try to do something on Anderson. Here he goes, pulling up for the jump shot. That was a good move. I really believe that if you look at the matchups, McCants-Anderson is the best chance for North Carolina to take somebody one-on-one.
McCants has 17. 7:35 to go. A 1-point UConn lead. Denham Brown. The tip, no. There's Boone with another putback and the basket. Boy, he's been a force.
He really has. And it's the 2 bigs going against 1 big for North Carolina, really paying off. Felton. And here comes Connecticut. They are not going to let up. This is going to be a game of will now, Vern.
Gordon off the dribble. Felton guards it.
Nice defensive work there by Felton. Gordon couldn't turn the corner. He wants a solid screen.
Denham Brown.
Much bigger.
Reach around. Melvin Scott got called for the foul.
Well, Scott knew he was in trouble right there because giving up a lot of size, probably 3 inches to Denham Brown. And here comes reloading Connecticut. When the waiver comes in, Boone, who had a tremendous 5 minutes there, sits down.
So you sit a 6'10 and you bring on a 6'11. And a 1-and-1 circumstance, Denham Brown goes to the free throw line, where for the season he is 75%, but he struggled in the last 3 games, only 9 of 21 from the line. His first free throw today, and it's off the mark.
He hustles to get the rebound. Again, he's got Scott. He wants a clear out there because he feels he can take Scott inside. Crossover dribble coming.
Gordon gets a screen from Villanueva. The switch. There's the pass into Okafor. They collapse on him, and he is fouled and will go to the free throw line.
Well, May just gives up too much size and doesn't have the leaping ability to stay with Okafor.
Rashad Anderson big off the bench in the second half.
Well, we saw him have that outstanding game against Oklahoma, and he's picked up right where he left off.
3 threes in this half. Emeka Okafor at the line. 4 of 7. Jawad Williams back on for Sean May for North Carolina. Rashad Anderson sits. And Shimon Tools is on now for UConn. And Roy Williams brings Felton over and sends Jackie Manuel on.
Now, Felton and May cannot stay out very long, Vern. Maybe a minute at the most. Remember last year, North Carolina had the big lead early. Connecticut eventually took the lead with a minute to go. Carolina came back to win it.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by AT&T Wireless. Reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless. Head and Shoulders. Unbeatable daily dandruff protection. Unbelievably beautiful hair. And by Coca-Cola. Let's make it real.
Sean May sits with his 4th foul for North Carolina. And Carolina trails 75-73.
Well, Vern, with May down there, you have a team, obviously, that's going to be smaller without his presence in there on both ends of the floor. And what has really helped Connecticut was a tremendous play of Boone during that stretch. With Okafor, you know what he's going to bring. Boone got a lot of key rebounds, a couple of putbacks, but really took advantage of the small team that North Carolina had on the floor.
A little pressure applied, just a slight amount from Ben Gordon.
And that's with Felton on the bench. Scott's got to become the primary ball handler. Tolles is now on McCants.
Here's Jackie Manuel, puts it on the floor. Nice strong drive, and then misses from close range. Here's Gordon at the other end. Spin move on Scott. Williams comes to help. They look inside for Okafor. And Williams overplays him, does not foul, and the throwaway.
Surprised at that pass by Okafor. That shows you with Talik Brown out of the game, they don't really set up as well in their half-court set.
Tonight on CBS, TV's original talent show back with a brand new twist. Arsenio Hall hosts the season premiere of Star Search, then Hack and the District. That's tonight on CBS.
McCants has got to want the ball right now. That's not the answer to go in against the strength of that defense at Okafor.
Okafor with another steal. That's 14 turnovers for North Carolina. Now Denham Brown, he's guarded by Manuel. Villanueva back on the floor. He'll clear out. The runner is rejected.
Manuel's a tough defender. Anderson back in the ball game has been the answer for Connecticut.
Rashad Anderson replaces Shimon Tools. And Ben Gordon will throw it in.
Okafor almost slipped in there for an easy layup.
Villanueva missed it.
Push off.
And gets the follow. And the margin is 4 with 5.5 to go.
McCants now with Brown on him. McCants has to come and get the ball. Here he is.
Now right side. That's Anderson defensively on Manuel.
Williams has Okafor outside, maybe getting the ball for a step-out jump shot. Here he
Scott
is.
back to Williams, way outside.
That's got it. Play. Good play. Had Okafor right where he wanted him, away from the basket, and he's capable of hitting that jumper.
Big three, Jawad Williams, under 5 to go. Williams with 18 points, and he's 4 of 5 with that mess. No encumbrance. Okafor back. Rashad Anderson for 3. Noel with a rebound, and Carolina with a chance to take the lead.
Oh, and just a big turnover by Scott.
And a foul.
Scott had his head up looking where he was going to pass it, and it just got away from him. Now, this was a good maneuver by North Carolina to take advantage of the set that they had. They had Okafor away from the basket. Williams set the solid screen, got the ball back for the jump shot outside. Felton comes in, Manuel out.
And Gordon goes to the line. That is the 9th team foul on North Carolina. So Ben Gordon shoots 1 and 1.
Now how about this? 2 freshman big men in the game for Connecticut. Okafor will sit down. It won't be for long. Remember the last time he was down for about 30 seconds of playing time.
Gordon, who is an 82% free throw shooter, misses the front end of a 1 and 1. And will this free throw bugaboo, the disability, come back and haunt them again?
Well, you would assume they're in good shape with Gordon on the line. Solid screen for Boone.
There's Villanueva, turn around, he'll go to the line. No travel. UConn turnovers. 4th game in a row that North Carolina has forced its opponent into 20 turnovers or more. That's the CBS Sports Line stat of the game. For complete stats, go to cbssportsline.com.
Down low, McCants. That's the man I was waiting for to step up, Vern. Jim Calhoun wants timeout. You know who's coming back into the game?
I would bet his first name is pronounced Mecca. Time call.
Force Gordon to change the path of his dribble.
Noel was fronting Okafor, and they get the ball off the board.
That was great weak side help by McCants. That ball was telegraphed on the pass. McCants anticipated and gave the help.
Scott.
I think they should work Williams again outside with Okafor, making him stay out. There's McCants.
Underneath.
This is really helping North Carolina now because Okafor's guarding Williams. They probably ought to make an adjustment there because Williams is taking him outside. He's not available inside for shot blocking.
There's the dish from Okafor to Villanueva. And an easy basket to cut the margin to 1.
Good moving without the ball by the freshman.
80-79, 3:12 to go.
May with 4 fouls. That's why he's on the bench right now.
Now Felton back on the floor. Talik Brown sits at the point guard position.
See, here's Williams again. He's got Okafor way away from the basket, and that's where you want to keep him.
Scott,
Not a good shot.
Villanueva tries to chase it down. Okafor saves it.
Okafor came about 20 feet from where he was guarding his man to get that rebound.
Top-ranked team in the country. Trailed by 14 at the half, 50-36. Reclaimed the lead. They're down right now by 1. To a Carolina team that has played quite well today.
They're wanting Okafor to handle that ball one time down low.
Gordon posts up. Good just, not there. But there's Rashad Anderson again.
Boy, that was good D, and Gordon made a great adjustment in the air. And Anderson, normally you would look for the rebound, but he kept his eye on the pass.
Nearing the 2:10 mark. UConn by 1. There's Williams again. Way outside. He's hit 4 of 5 from 3, and he's got Okafor right by him. 5-second count. Now Felton, crossover dribble. Up. Villanueva there.
Tough to make a move against these great shot blockers from Connecticut when you're 15, 18 feet from the basket. They make great adjustments.
1:45 to go. UConn has 11 blocks in the game. They are, after all, the #1 shot blocking team in NCAA basketball. Time call. Back at the Smith Center, a 1-point UConn lead with 1:43 to go.
I'll give you a strategy that I would employ right here.
All right.
I would put Sanders in the game. I would let Okafor touch the ball, and I would play hack-a-shack the rest of the way. He's not in the game, but you let Okafor get the ball and then foul.
Put him at the line.
Yeah, put him on the line.
.140 to go. UConn leading by 1. There's Okafor with Williams muscling him.
Yeah, see, don't let him shoot. Foul him. He's going to score over the smaller people. Foul him, put him on the line.
Emeka Okafor has had a brilliant game, 29 points now, and a 3-point lead for the top-ranked team in the country, but no longer.
Beautiful pass that time. Cross court. McCants and Williams, great eye contact.
McCants cans it from 3. We're tied at 83. 1:14 to go. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Bonus at either end on the free throw line. McCants tied it up. He's got 24 points to lead North Carolina. And Okafor with 29 points to lead UConn.
And May has 4 fouls on him, not on the floor right now. So it's going to be Williams on Okafor.
And here's Denham Brown. Gordon. Oh, boy.
Gordon has great hands, though. Remember, he made the initial save in the opening tap.
That's right. Now here's Villanueva. At the free throw line. Jumper, no. Okafor chases it down. Got it.
Pete Noel to that ball. How he got it down low. Terrific job on his part.
42 seconds to go in regulation. Underneath, no. And Jawad Williams for North Carolina.
And gets pushed. Oh, he did a great job throwing that ball off Okafor's leg, or he would have taken it out of bounds with him.
0.6 of a second difference. North Carolina ball in a tie game. Both teams with 2 timeouts left.
Well, we said at the top of the show, the #1 spot. North Carolina with 9 victories over #1. The only school in the country that has more victories against #1 is UCLA. Right now, May is back in the ball game. If I'm North Carolina, I make sure that Williams is away from the basket and make sure that Okafor has to guard him. Now, they're going to probably make a switch if you're Connecticut. You'll put Boone on Williams. Okafor will go on May. Whichever guy Okafor's guarding, I'd pull outside. Keep Okafor away from the basket. But that's not going to happen because May looks like he's going down inside.
Now Boone is on Williams. Here's Scott. Jawad Williams with Boone on him.
Boone much better and able to handle Williams outside. Leaves Okafor for his zone inside.
Raymond Felton. Now 10 to go. They're going to give it to McCants. He's got it!
It's a 3. Connecticut is a little bit confused right now. They They called a timeout. Got to go the length of the floor. You know who beat Connecticut last year? McCants.
He's been sometimes enigmatic.
He was tremendous in the Wake Forest triple overtime game, sending that to overtime with an outside shot. He steps out with a little push-off, gets a nice screen. No doubt in his mind, putting up the three.
27 points for Rashad McCants, and he's got the leading basket now. Carolina leads by 3, 6.2 to go.
What you want is to make Gordon handle this ball and let him dribble and take as much time as possible to dribble up the court. What Roy Williams wanted to do is to see what Connecticut's setup was and then call a timeout to adjust to it.
And so he has done. Now with 6.2 to go, UConn and North Carolina with 1 timeout left.
Now, Vern, if you're North Carolina, I think you want to foul. I think you want to force Connecticut to take as much time as possible getting the ball over half court and then foul. Now, Talik Brown is in the game. If he touches the ball, I foul him. We're talking about a guy who's had all kinds of foul shooting problems. You give him the foul. Do not allow a Gordon or an Anderson or Denham Brown to get off a three-point shot. Okafor is not in the game. So if Talik Brown touches it, you make him beat you with free throw shooting.
Charlie Villanueva will inbound it. Talik Brown, Ben Gordon, the 2 guards. Rashad Anderson's here as well.
And I double-team Gordon here to make sure that Talik Brown is the guy that has to catch this ball.
Talik Brown for the season, 53%.
See, they want to get the ball to Gordon. Now make him dribble.
Spin move, jump, puts it up, no!
Ball game. North Carolina now ties UCLA with 10 victories against #1 teams. Quite a ball game.
Quite a scene. Well, they've got security all around the court, and it does absolutely no good.
And you know what's interesting? You know who will be #1? The team North Carolina despises, the Duke Blue Devils.
And we see them next week. North Carolina was up by 14 at the break. They fell behind. They got a huge 3 from Jerwan Williams to tie it, and they win it on McCants' 3, and here's the last possession of the ball game.
Again, I don't like the strategy of not fouling, because if this goes in, you're playing overtime and you've got Okafor back on the floor. It worked out for North Carolina. But Gordon gets off the shot and had a pretty good look.
And on the UConn bench, as Ben Gordon's shot goes up, dismay. But I like what Jim Calhoun told us yesterday at the end of practice. He said, I don't know whether we'll win or lose, but if we lose in either case, I like the guys I'm flying home with. What a scene here at Smith Center on the campus in Chapel Hill. These guys act like they haven't won before. They've got a pretty decent history, don't they? The Chevrolet most valuable players in the game. Emeka Okafor from Connecticut, 29 points and 13 rebounds. Rashad McCants, 27 points, 10 of 16 from the field, and he hit the game winner with 6.2 seconds left. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Well, we're going to have a chance to catch our breath, perhaps. 86-83, the final here. For Billy Packer, I'm Vern Lundquist. Gus Johnson from the studio when we come back in just a moment.